Hello, YouTube community. It's Robert S., and welcome back to RobScure Music, where I hope to introduce you or reacquaint you with lesser-known artists and or albums that are out there in the musical universe. So in today's video, I actually want to highlight a particular album by a band called Calexico. And that album is this, called The Black Light. Calexico is a Tucson, Arizona based band that was formed in the early 90s by Joey Burns and John Conventino. And I mentioned Tucson, Arizona because the band's sound is very much a product of their location. This is Latin influenced, mariachi type band type sound, country, folk, tejano. It's if you love that type of Southwest feel, you'll love this album. And this band was actually formed under the name Spoke, and they released their first album in 1995. It was a self-titled album, obviously called Spoke. And they changed record labels, and they changed their name to Calexico. And in 1998, they released this album. So this is what I'm going to highlight for you today. Let me see if I can show you the track listings there. And if you enjoy that sort of Tex-Mex sound, like I said, mariachi, if you like mellow instrumentation, because there's a lot of instrumentals and a lot of unusual sounds in this, in terms of what you might be accustomed to hearing. Much like the Beatles had the Liverpool Mersey sound, and Nirvana was the Seattle sound. This is very much an Arizona, New Mexico sort of sound. Mexican border, music, if you will. And Calexico, by the way, is named after a border town in California. And in fact, let me read you some of the instruments that get played on this album. We've got, the usual guitars and so on, but you've got, where does it start? Double bass, guitars, cello, mandolin, accordion, keyboards, steel guitar, percussion, vox, drums, vibraphone, marimba, accordion, percussion, thunder drum. You've got barking vox, organ, piano, pedal steel, violin, Spanish guitar and claves, fuzz vox, trumpets. It's just amazing. And the trumpets sound so good. So this is pretty much a concept sort of album, in as much as it has that sort of Latin, like I said, feel to it. And honestly, this almost sounds like it could be the soundtrack to any number of spaghetti westerns or any episodes of Breaking Bad. So if you're familiar with Breaking Bad, it's right in that wheelhouse. So let me go over some of the music on this fantastic album. And again, it is on the mellow side. It is very much Arizona, New Mexico, Mexican sort of based music. If you're into that, I think you would enjoy this. At almost an hour and being somewhat mellow, it is a harder listen perhaps for some people. But I'll play you some of the songs later so you get a feel for what this album is all about. So let's talk about some of the highlights musically on this album. The album kicks off with two instrumentals. Let me see if I can show you those. You've got Gypsy's Curse and Fake Fur. And Gypsy's Curse is definitely that spaghetti western theme song music. Great way to open. It is an instrumental. It's, I think, about less than 2 minutes, I want to say. It's so small I can't read the writing on this. But it's a great song. And Fake Fur is one that towards the end, I feel like I'm hearing almost alien type sounds, and I wonder if that's sort of just making a connection between the location that they're in and Area 51, which is the supposedly location where they have some space alien in the past or whatever. I don't know a lot about it, but I know there's an Area 51 there. So I like I said, I got a hint of that on this particular song. The third song on here is The Ride Part 2. And this is where we finally start to get some lyrics in the song. And this has a California surf sort of Dick Dale type sound to it. The Black Light, which is the name of this particular album, that song has sort of hints of jazz and blues, and a lyric and sort of a spoken sort of singy type of voice that is very reminiscent of like Lou Reed. And you're familiar with Walk on the Wild Side. It's sort of like that, but it's in a more of a softer, almost whispered type of voice. Then you've got, and he does that actually on another song called the what's it? Oh, Missing. He does that again on that particular song. In fact, let me read you, if I can, some of the lyrics on that particular song. There's an angel at your side who rescued you in the nick of time, explains how you almost fell and vanished into a fatal spell. She looks into your eyes and sees there's something still missing. And then there's a song called Minas de Cobre, which is Spanish for the copper mines. And this is a very good instrumental, complete with the Spanish guitar and the violins, the trumpets, and it's definitely an emotional song. And the next one is Over Your Shoulder. And this one is, it opens with a slow sort of drum beat into guitar. And honestly, the first time I had heard it, and even now when I listen to it, I hear the intro to David Bowie's song called 5 Years from his Ziggy Stardust album. If you're familiar with that song, you'll know what I'm talking about in terms of the slow drum beat, and then the guitars coming in, and then finally the lyrics to the song. And absolutely fantastic. And then there's a song called Sprawl, which, if this is a movie soundtrack, this is the part of the movie where this sort of dirge comes in, and it's sort of lamenting the untimely death of somebody in the movie. And then the next song after that is called Stray. And this is another cool song. It's punctuated again by the Mexican band sound. It tells of a man who's visiting the grave of his love, basically. And there's an old man that is there and tells him to be careful and to, watch where he strays. Again, it's sort of in keeping with that movie soundtrack, in my mind. And then that's followed up by a song called Old Man Waltz. And this is, in fact, truly a waltz. And, you got the accordion sound. It's just, again, part of the soundtrack. And after that is Blood Flow. And Blood Flow is an excellent song. It basically, again, is lamenting the death of a loved one and sort of speaking of the injustice of, death that comes too soon and the sorrow that you feel in your heart. And I don't know the exact instrument that plays it, but there's a sound that is almost like a tolling bell. And this one, too, I just want to take a minute to read you a little bit of the lyrics on this song called Blood Flow. Swallowed up home, there ain't much now I can pull. No stuntman surprises or Houdini-like disguises for death-defying escape. Avoid the tap on the shoulder from the one with a long black cape. Just to see those eyes of her shine is worth any sum or length of time that would fill that space where her love once flowed. But the more I resist, the further and further I drift, get swept out in the riptide where a part of me wants to lie neath the ways and sorrows and tears, sink to the bottom and linger there the rest of my years. Walk among the sea of bones of my fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, feel their blood flowing away, send the soul its way. And the album ends with a song called Frontera, which is another instrumental, and it basically just essentially encapsulates everything you've just heard on the album musically, all the highs, all the lows, and it's the perfect ending to this soundtrack that never was. So if you have a chance, check this out. Let's play the music, and I'll see you on the other side.
Downtown, the local hotel ghosts blow back around, descend on those drugstore cowboy nights, cling to the bar, then disappear from sight. Dark end of the street, crossing the night, visible to the electric eye. And sipping on a little night train. your side, rescue in the nick of time. Explains how you almost fell and vanished into a fatal spell. She looks into your eyes and sees there's something still missing. It rained the whole day, spent at his lover's grave. Said his goodbyes to her family and friends, and packed his things in a rusted car and rode off in the rain. And came upon a church in ruin with an old man dwelling within. Said, watch where you stray, my friend. Swallowed up whole. There ain't much now I can pull. No stuntman surprises or Houdini-like disguises for death defying escape. Tap on the shoulder from that one with a long
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it's Calexico. Album is called The Black Light. Stay well, friends. And remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.